HPE is doing a lot of great stuff around living progress. We're working hard to drive the circular economy, we're investing in our people, and we're operating responsibly. Those three things really resonated with me. When I started to do the research on HPE, I then learnt that the solution sets that we're bringing to market, they're all about helping our customers on the journey towards modernising the data centre. We're working hard with our customers to automate service delivery, and we're helping our customers and partners transform people and process. Again, really bought into those three things. And then when I learnt about our go-to-market structure and what we're doing with the ISV community, and Red Hat is a great example of that, I kind of qualified in and really excited to be here. One of the things I learnt about Red Hat, our relationship's not brand new. It's been around for 18 years. So 18 years, HPE and Red Hat have been going to market together. And in fact, when you think about Red Hat Enterprise Linux, that ships more often on HPE servers than any other platform. And so we're really committed to the relationship. What I wanted to share with you today, we've got about 20 minutes together. And so what I thought would be a great place to start is I wanted to talk about some of the industry trends that we're seeing at HPE. Hopefully those trends resonate with you. I want to share where's HPE and Red Hat coming together around containerization. We'll talk about what we're doing with OpenShift and our Synergy platform. I then wanted to kind of switch gears. I wanted to come back to Red Hat Enterprise Linux, talk about some stories on what's happening in the market, share with you where we're going to market in the telco sector, share with you what we're doing in and around big data and artificial intelligence, talk about the opportunity that is for all of us around SAP transformation. And then I want to finish off with what we're seeing is some really exciting progress that HPE is making on bringing our product portfolio to market in a consumptive way, on consumption as a service. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you all. Hopefully it resonates. Let's crack on with the industry trends. One of the things that hopefully you all get the pressure within in your organisation, doesn't matter who you meet with, everybody's asking us to do more with less. And it's the same thing every year. It doesn't matter whether you're on the vendor side of the fence or you're part of the enterprise or in the partner community. We're all being asked to do more with less. And what does that mean for applications? From an applications point of view, we're being asked to deliver applications faster and with better quality. We're being asked to deliver them at reduced cost. And we want greater control in that process. So those three things, every day we meet with customers, they're the three things that they're telling us. And what does that mean for apps? Well, Kubernetes has been around for a while, but it's really accelerated with mindshare. In fact, Kubernetes, the breakout year for Kubernetes was 2018. Some of you will probably argue with that, but I think Kubernetes won the orchestration battle in 2018. And you fast forward 12 months, when we meet with customers, customers want to understand what is HPE doing to help customers accelerate making containers easier to manage. How do you deploy them easier? How do you make them more secure? What does scalability look like? They're all the questions that our customers are asking of us. And when you think about what is industry doing in response to that, it's not just HPE, all of industry is coming to market in a different way. We're coming to market around software-defined everything. We're coming to market around flexible pool of resources. Open source has really gained significant traction. Hybrid cloud, customers have to consider, do we run the workloads on-premise through a service provider or in the public cloud? And containers. They're the five key things that industry is bringing to market for customers and partners. So hopefully some of those trends resonate with you. When we think about adoption challenges for containers, you think about when containers first came to market, it was designed for cloud-native workloads, and that's where the first wins were. Cloud-native workloads running on containers. But pretty quickly, the enterprise applications were being rolled out in container platforms, and that was a pretty significant shift in trend. And so what does that mean? Well, there's challenges in moving enterprise applications to customers, to containers. And the questions that we see and hear all the time coming from our customers is, so when containers move between on-prem and cloud, should my data move with them? It's a really common question. When we sit down with apps dev and the DevOps teams, they want to understand how is the IT team going to support containers given that they're busy with production. And operations themselves, they always want to look at how do I actually run and manage containers. In fact, I was listening to a podcast, it's a Red Hat podcast just in the last few days. I think it's called Pod CTL. And the advice that the Red Hat podcast said is one of the best places to start with containers is to actually put operational applications into containers, because it's a great way of getting the operations team skilled up in management of containers. So that really resonated with me. So the container stack, gee, it's a complex world. Have a look at this. And some of you might have seen this slide before, but this reminds me of my Tupperware drawer at home. You know, let's face it, everybody's got a drawer or a cupboard that looks like this. And you know, you reach into the drawer and the problem is finding a lid to match the container. Well, there's a lot to consider, right? There is a lot to consider. You got to consider from that stack, you got to consider the cloud platform. You got to consider on-prem service provider or public cloud. You have to think about provisioning and runtime. Key considerations around orchestration and management. Then when it comes to the Kubernetes platform, am I going to run it distributed, hosted, certified installed, non-certified installed? And we're going to run it as platform as a service. And what am I going to do about monitoring? Gee whiz, there's a lot to think about. And the more I think about it, the more I can just think about the Tupperware container drawer at home. So our vision, I wanted to share with you our vision. And you know, when we think about containers, none of our customers have the luxury of greenfield. It's really rare that you get a customer that operates within a greenfield environment. And so when you're not greenfield, it's hard to change habits. And there's people impacts involved with change. You know, and when you run new applications and you run them in a proof of concept environment, when do you put them into production? What is the impact on the network? What does governance look like? What platform do I run it on? They're all really important considerations. And so at HPE, our angle and where we're going to market with Red Hat, we're very much focused on how do we help you modernize your applications. And from an HPE point of view, that's by delivering the best platform. And I'll talk to you about what that means a little bit later in this talk track. How do we help you speed up DevOps? And that's from a HPE point of view by helping you automate provisioning. And then what can we do to help simplify container operations through our partnership with Red Hat? That's our approach to our container vision. And our container vision, we've been going to market in a really strong way globally around Red Hat OpenShift, built on HPE Synergy, which is our composable platform. And we've been gaining a lot of momentum around it. And so what it looks like, composable, new word for many, but think about composable infrastructure as composable infrastructure provides compute, storage, and network devices as flexible resource pools. And it can be provisioned real time to meet workload demands of the business. And jointly, what we've been doing is Red Hat and HPE have been coming to market with an a jointly engineered platform that's modular, that can be, it can be scaled or tailored real time, and it's got a real reduced cost and strong business case proposition around it. And the future of containers is the next step is to deliver that as a service, and I'll talk to that a little bit later. But beyond containers, we come to market together significantly in a number of other ways. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, I was surprised to learn that Linux now, when you look at server shipments globally, Linux makes up almost 50% of all server shipments globally. And when we think about the largest enterprise domains, the public cloud providers, and the largest high-performance compute environments, they're all built on Linux. In fact, I did some research on the top 500 high-performance compute platforms globally. Out of the top 500 high-performance compute platforms, 100% of them are built on Linux. It's amazing. And in fact, Cray is currently building the fastest supercomputer in the world. They've signed a contract with the Department of Energy in the US, and the new supercomputer is going to go into production in the year 2021. When it goes into production, it's going to be used to calculate nuclear and climate change calculations. And it's actually going to operate at a processing speed of 1.5 exaflops per second. Now look around the room, and I wonder how many of you know what an exaflop is. I didn't. I had to go and look it up. And one exaflop is 1 quintillion. And the best way to think about a quintillion, write down the number 1 and put 18 zeros behind it, and then get your head around that as the processing power per second. It's amazing how high-performance computing, supercomputing, has transformed. In fact, I mentioned Cray. HPE completed the acquisition of Cray just last month. Look out for a number of announcements that we're going to be making in and around the high-performance compute space. We've got a really strong portfolio that we're coming to market with. So that's Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Telco solutions. We have a really strong go-to-market. We're going to market jointly around media function virtualization. We're doing a lot with network function virtualization. Lot of activity on software-defined wide area networking. And in fact, in region, in APJ, one of the telecommunications companies in Japan, Tokyo Communications, they were undertaking digital transformation, and they've undertaken digital transformation with Red Hat and HPE. And in fact, they moved enterprise applications off their mainframe onto a container platform. They built that out on Red Hat OpenShift, and the platform that it sits on is HPE Synergy, so our composable platform, and that's actually delivered for Tokyo Communications as a consumptive service via our GreenLake offering, and I'll talk to that in a little bit more detail. So telecommunications, really strong area that we're coming to market on. Big data, all things big data and artificial intelligence. I love this space. And the more I learn about it, the more excited that I get on it. And In our ecosystem, we've got a really strong go-to-market with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is also part of the Red Hat ecosystem. We acquired late last year a company in the US called Blue Data, and Blue Data currently take machine learning as a service to market, and that's something that we're going to be bringing to this marketplace in the not too distant future. HPE is doing a lot of engagements in and around artificial intelligence. In fact, one that I read about just the other day, Taiwan, developing country. Taiwan has a smart city initiative, and we've been working with the Taiwan government on a number of initiatives that are based on AI. Everything from smart lighting through to smart parking, through to smart waste, all artificial intelligence projects that we're working on with the Taiwan government. In fact, smart lighting, based on sensor data at a district level, the sensors detect humidity, weather patterns, storms. They can actually turn on and off the lighting at a district level in Taiwan, and it's based on AI. Smart parking, and I wish we'd bring this into Australia, but in Taiwan, you can drive into certain car parks and through a 3D visualization in your car and also onto your phone, it'll show you where the vacant car parks are. And not only will it show you where they are, it'll show you how to navigate to get to those car parks. Once you're parked, it actually shares with you what's accessible within the local community from a retail and business district point of view. Really, really clever. And for an island that was nicknamed as Garbage Island back in the late 90s, through their smart waste project, Taiwan is now the second best recycler in the world. It's an amazing transformation, and so HP is really proud to be a part of that. SAP. I wanted to talk about SAP. And SAP, SAP's got about 400,000 customers globally, and only 8,000 of those have currently migrated to HANA. In fact, of the 8,000 that have migrated to HANA, a little over 40% of them sit on HPE as the platform. We're the platform of choice for HANA. And for those existing customers of SAP, by the year 2025, we all have to undertake a migration to HANA and S/4HANA. Big transformation task. Jointly, HPE and Red Hat have a really strong story around SAP transformation that we want to engage with you all on. And we look at it in 4 ways, the 4 steps towards transformation. Firstly, modernise the platform. Secondly, upgrade the database to HANA. Third step, upgrade the application stack, so the ERP stack, to S/4HANA, and then put in place a lifecycle management approach. That's our approach to SAP transformation. And for any of you that have the time to drop past the HPE stand this afternoon, I'd really encourage you to have a discussion around the joint go-to-market that Red Hat and HPE have in and around SAP transformation. We've got a large number of joint success stories. I'm not going to go into detail on all of these. You can see that we're having success across all industry verticals and with the service providers. One local one that I did want to quickly call out is IP Australia. IP Australia, their Rights in One program is built on the Red Hat stack. Enterprise Linux, Ansible, Satellite, OpenShift, and it was the first customer in Australia that we actually shipped HPE Synergy to, so the composable infrastructure stack. Really strong story. We've now got many, many more. I touched on GreenLake. GreenLake, for any of you that don't know, Antonio Neri, our CEO, announced earlier at HPE Discover More earlier this year that we want to take to market our entire portfolio as consumption as a service by the year 2022. A lot of people thought that was really ambitious. But here in Australia, we're making really strong steps towards achieving that. In fact, there's large parts of our portfolio that we're already taking to market as consumption as a service under our GreenLake offering. And it's a really flexible offering that can just take the infrastructure to market as a service on a consumptive approach through to wrapping a full management service level stack around it. And in fact, the synergy platform that I touched on with composable infrastructure, we're doing exactly that in market today. And in fact, we've already got 40 different customers up and running, leveraging our GreenLake offering across Australia and New Zealand. So that's something that we'd really encourage you to look at. What does that mean for our relationship with Red Hat? Well, one of the things that is pretty close is we're going to bring to market the ability to consume container as a service via GreenLake. And so that's just around the corner. Through our Point Next services team, we've already started engaging from a services point of view around containers as a service, but from a consumptive model, that is just around the corner, and we're really excited about it. And you think, well, what are the workloads that I could then use that for? You'll be able to use that for anything from network function virtualization, edge computing, high performance compute, big data and artificial intelligence, through to DevOps. So there's a really exciting opportunity for you there. I wanted to finish where I started. By saying thank you. We're really excited about our relationship with Red Hat. 18 years now, and looking at the agenda for this afternoon, wow, I can't wait to get along to Mythical Beasts. That's something that really resonates with me. I wanted to thank you for your attention. I'd encourage you to drop past the HPE stand. Engage them with a discussion on two topics. A, what does our approach to market look like around containers jointly with Red Hat? And how can we help you on SAP transformation? They're the two topics that I really encourage you to have a discussion around. And I think we might even have a quiz question. I'll give you the answers around Composable, right? So the quiz question, in case you need the three, it's around fluid resource pools, software-defined intelligence, and unified APIs as our three differentiators with the synergy platform. On that note, thank you, good day, and enjoy lunch.